Kelly hurried to the command center where her senior officers had gathered. The large central display showed the face of Admiral Maya Carson, Earth's highest-ranking Space Force commander. Her expression was serious. "Commander Porter, we have a situation," Admiral Carson said without preamble. "Our long-range sensors have detected increased activity in the Zolaxian fleet. 3 battle groups have changed course and appear to be heading toward previously unmapped regions near your position." Kelly exchanged glances with Aaron. "They're looking for something. Our analysis suggests they suspect we have more ships," the Admiral confirmed. "They're searching for hidden human outposts or vessels." This was a complication Kelly hadn't anticipated, at least not so soon. The plan had been to impress the Zolaxians with the Valiant, then negotiate from a position of apparent strength before they realized the full extent of human capabilities. "What are your orders, Admiral?" Kelly asked, her mind already racing through contingencies. "Maintain your position and continue diplomatic engagement. The Artemis and the Orion are moving to support positions but will remain cloaked. We can't risk the Zolaxians discovering our true numbers yet." After the transmission ended, Nicole voiced the concern they all felt. "If they find any of our hidden facilities before the treaty." "They won't," Kelly said with more confidence than she felt. "Our stealth technology is generations beyond what they can detect. But we need to accelerate the negotiations. Get me a secure channel to Fleet Commander Varix." On the Zolaxian homeworld, Varix was summoned to an emergency session of the High Council. The mood was tense when she arrived. "Explain this," demanded Elder Kraz, activating a holographic display showing surveillance footage of what appeared to be a small human outpost, hidden on an uninhabited moon in a system previously thought empty. Varix stared at the images in shock. "Where was this found?" Sector 7 Patrol discovered it while investigating unusual energy readings. Elder Mick said, "It appears to be a listening post monitoring our communications. The technology matches what you reported from the human vessel." This changed everything. The presence of a hidden human facility so deep in Zolaxian territory suggested an intelligence operation that had been active for years, perhaps decades. The humans knew far more about the Empire than they should. Before Varix could respond, another council member spoke. "We've also detected unusual gravitational anomalies in 3 other systems. These readings are consistent with what our scientists theorize might be produced by the human propulsion system." "They have more ships," Varix realized aloud. "The Valiant is not unique." The council chamber erupted in concerned voices. Some called for immediate military action while others urged caution. "Silence," commanded High Elder Mix. "If the humans possess more vessels with capabilities like the Valiant, a direct confrontation would be unwise. We need more information." "The human commander has requested another meeting," Varix informed them. "Perhaps we can learn more through continued diplomacy while our fleets investigate these anomalies." Elder Kraz's skin darkened with skepticism. "You believe they will simply reveal their secrets?" "No," Varix admitted, "but keeping them engaged gives us time. Our deep space sensors continue to gather data on their vessel. Even the most advanced technology reveals patterns with sufficient observation." Back aboard the Valiant, Kelly received disturbing news. They found the listening post in the Proxima system, Aaron reported grimly. "Our operatives evacuated before they could be discovered, but the Zolaxians now know. We've been monitoring them." Kelly paced the command deck. "What about our other facilities?" "The lunar base on Titan remains undetected. The research station in the Arcturus system is maintaining full stealth protocols. The mining operation in the asteroid belt has gone dark. This development threatened to destabilize their carefully constructed narrative. The Zolaxians were meant to see humans as technologically advanced but straightforward. Instead, they would now view Earth as deceptive and potentially dangerous. We need to control the narrative, Kelly decided. When I meet with Varix again, I'll acknowledge the listening post, frame it as a necessary precaution given their empire's history of absorbing smaller species. Nicole looked Concerned, "You think admitting to spying will help our position?" "Limited honesty at this point is better than being caught in more lies," Kelly explained. "We'll present it as a defensive measure while still concealing our true capabilities as..." Preparations continued for the next diplomatic meeting. Kelly received a personal communication from Olivia Grant. "The situation has become more complex," the defense minister said, her face grave. "The Zolaxians have reached out to the Centauri Confederation, apparently seeking information about human activities in their space." This was troubling news. The Centauri were another advanced alien federation with whom humans had limited but cordial relations. "What did the Centauri tell them?" Kelly asked. "Nothing. Damaging so far. The Centauri respect our privacy, but the Zolaxians are offering significant technological exchanges for information. This puts the Centauri in a difficult position." Kelly understood the implications. If the Zolaxians learned that humans had been hiding their true technological level from multiple alien civilizations, their suspicion would increase exponentially. In her laboratory, Leary continued analyzing data from the human vessel, making incremental progress in understanding its principles when she received an encrypted transmission from Fleet Commander Varix. "I need everything you have on human biology, psychology, social structures," Varix requested, "especially their approach to conflict resolution and negotiation." "Tactics," Leary was surprised by the request. "We have limited data, Commander. Most comes from early observation missions before we classified them as a low-priority species." "Send everything," Varix insisted. "I need to understand how they think before our next meeting." The information Leary compiled painted a complex picture. Humans were hierarchical like Zolaxians, but with more flexible social structures. Their history showed remarkable technological advancement interrupted by periods of internal conflict. Their psychology suggested they were both cooperative and fiercely competitive, capable of both selfless sacrifice and ruthless aggression. Most concerning to Varix was their adaptability. Humans seemed to thrive on challenges, evolving their tactics and technology rapidly in response to threats. This trait alone made them dangerous. Their approach to warfare historically emphasized deception, surprise, and asymmetric advantages rather than direct confrontation. When Kelly Porter arrived for the next diplomatic meeting, she found the atmosphere had changed significantly. More Zolaxian security personnel were present, and Varix's manner was noticeably cooler, Commander Porter. Varix began formally. "Before we continue our discussions, my government requires clarification on certain matters. We have discovered what appears to be a human surveillance facility in Sector 7. Are you prepared to explain its purpose?" Kelly maintained her composure, showing neither surprise nor concern. "Fleet Commander, the facility you discovered was established 5 years ago as an early warning system. Your empire has absorbed 17 developing species in the past century. According to our records, Earth deemed it prudent to monitor potential threats." Varix's tentacles twitched slightly, the only indication of her reaction. "You've been spying on the Empire. We've been ensuring our survival," Kelly countered. "Just as your empire maintains observation posts near the territories of the Centauri Confederation and the Arcturian Nexus. This is standard practice among spacefaring civilizations, is it not?" The direct reference to Zolaxian intelligence operations caught Varix off guard. It suggested human intelligence gathering went far deeper than one listening post. "What else have you concealed, Commander?" Varix asked, her voice level but intense. "How many vessels like the Valiant exist? How many outposts have you established within our territory?" Kelly knew this moment would define the negotiations. Her response needed to acknowledge enough to seem forthright while still protecting Earth's most critical secrets. The full extent of Earth's defensive capabilities is classified as, "I'm sure many of your empire's military assets remain undisclosed to us," she said carefully. "What I can tell you is that Earth has no hostile intentions toward the Zolaxian Empire. We seek recognition and respect, not conflict. The Valiant was sent as a demonstration of good faith, showing you our technology rather than hiding it. It was a masterful deflection, acknowledging the existence of other capabilities without confirming details." While technically true, it deliberately reinforced the misconception that the Valiant represented the pinnacle of human technology rather than merely one aspect of it. As Kelly spoke, she knew that somewhere beyond detection, two more human ships, the Artemis and the Orion, waited ready to intervene if diplomacy failed. The true test of human strategy was about to begin. The news of the human warship spread quickly across the Zolaxian Empire. Fleet Commander Varric stood before the High Council, her tentacles arranged in a formal position of respect. The grand chamber with its towering crystal pillars and ancient star maps made most visitors feel small, but Varric focused only on delivering her report. The human vessel called Valiant demonstrates technology at least 3 generations beyond our current capabilities, she explained to the 7 elder Zolaxians, who formed the ruling body. Their propulsion system alone would revolutionize our fleet if we could understand its principles. High Elder Mix leaned forward, her age-spotted skin shifting colors with emotion. You believe these humans have been deliberately concealing their true technological level? Yes, Elder. The evidence suggests they have been developing in secret while allowing us to believe they remained primitive. The council chamber fell silent as the implications settled on the gathered leaders. For millennia, the Zolaxian Empire had expanded unchallenged across the stars, cataloging, studying, and sometimes subjugating lesser species. Humans had been classified as a developing race hardly worth monitoring beyond occasional observation. Their homeworld Earth held few resources of interest to the Empire. What do they want? Asked Elder Kraz, his voice rumbling through the chamber. Varric projected the recorded meeting with Commander Kelly Porter and her team. They speak of alliance and trade, but their position is clear. They know they have surprised us. They know we underestimated them, and they want recognition as equals. On the Valiant Commander, Kelly sat in her private quarters, reviewing the data collected during their visit to the Zolaxian flagship. A soft chime announced a visitor enter. She called. Nicole Martinez stepped into the room carrying a datapad. Her dark hair was loose now that they were back among their own people. The council has responded. They want to continue negotiations. Kelly smiled. Of course they do. Their scans couldn't penetrate our hull. Their sensors couldn't analyze our engine signature. They're desperate to learn more. Do you think they suspect the truth? Nicole asked. Settling into a chair, Kelly considered the question carefully. That the Valiant is mostly a technology demonstrator rather than a true warship. I don't think so. Our intelligence about the Zolaxians was correct. They're so confident in their superiority that they assume what they're seeing is our best offering. The truth was more complex. The Valiant did indeed showcase revolutionary human technology, but its primary purpose was diplomatic intimidation. Earth had gambled everything on this mission, knowing that the vast Zolaxian Empire would never respect humans unless they demonstrated power the aliens could understand. The real fleet is still hidden, Kelly continued. The lunar shipyards remain undetected. The Zolaxians still believe our main operations are based on Earth itself. Nicole nodded. The mining operations in the asteroid belt, the manufacturing stations on Mars, the research facilities on Europa, all still secret. And they need to stay that way, Kelly said. Firmly, at least until we secure the treaty. Back in the Zolaxian Empire, Science Officer Leary worked tirelessly analyzing the limited data they had gathered from the human vessel. Her laboratory deep within the Science Ministry was filled with holographic projections of the Valiant, each highlighting different aspects of its construction. It doesn't make sense, she muttered to her research team. The power readings we detected would require a completely new understanding of particle physics. Assistant Trez moved between the displays. Could they have help advanced technology from another species, perhaps? Leary's tentacles twisted in frustration. We've considered that, but there's no evidence. No known spacefaring race has this technology. If they did, we would have encountered it before. The mystery of human advancement consumed her. She had dedicated her career to understanding alien civilizations, yet somehow humans had developed in ways that defied all predictive models. What if, she said slowly, developing her thought, what if humans simply think differently? What if their perception of physics, their approach to problems, is fundamentally unlike ours. On Earth, Defense Minister Olivia Grant stood before the United Nations Space Defense Council. The chamber was tense with anticipation as representatives from all Earth nations awaited news. The Valiant has successfully completed its first contact mission with the Zolaxian Empire, she announced. Commander Porter reports that the demonstration had the desired effect. The Zolaxians have requested formal diplomatic relations. Cheers erupted across the chamber, decades of secret preparation finally bearing fruit. For generations, Earth had known about the alien empires that dominated nearby space. Crashed ships, recovered technology, and occasionally captured aliens had given humanity a head start. The decision to appear less advanced than they truly were had been controversial but strategic. The Zolaxians believe they are negotiating with a single impressive warship, Olivia continued when the celebration quieted. They do not yet realize that the Valiant is merely the first of 300 similar vessels, nor that our defensive capabilities extend far beyond what they've witnessed. Admiral Laura Bennett, commander of Earth's Hidden Fleet, spoke next. For 50 years, we've prepared for this moment, building in secret, developing technologies the Zolaxians cannot imagine. Our quantum shielding dimensional slip drives and gravitic weapons remain completely unknown to them. The Valiant revealed only our most basic advancements. In her quarters aboard the massive Zolaxian station orbiting their homeworld, Varix couldn't sleep. Her encounter with the humans replayed in her mind. Commander Kelly Porter had shown no fear despite being surrounded by Zolaxian might. In fact, she had acted as though the humans held the superior position. A secure communication alert pulled Varix from her thoughts, and he activated her private terminal to find Leary's urgent message. Admiral, I've analyzed the propulsion signature of the human vessel. The scientist reported her normally calm demeanor shaken. They're not using conventional space folding at all. Their approach is entirely different conceptually. The humans aren't just ahead of us technologically, they're moving in a direction our science never considered. Varix felt a chill run through her body. What are you saying, Leary? I'm saying that even if we obtained their technology, we couldn't replicate it without fundamentally changing our scientific understanding. The gap isn't just technological, it's philosophical. The implications were staggering. If the humans had developed such different approaches to physics, what other surprises might they have? Kelly Porter stood on the observation deck of the Valiant, staring out at the stars. Her reflection showed a confident woman in her 40s with determination etched into her features. Gao thought about the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. The future relationship between humanity and the Zolaxian Empire would be shaped by her actions in the coming days. Commander. Aaron's voice came through the communication system. We're receiving a transmission from Earth Command Priority 1. Kelly straightened her uniform. On my way. The game of diplomacy and deception had only just begun. The diplomatic chamber fell silent as Varix considered Kelly's words. The Zolaxian commander's inner eyelids flickered, a sign that Kelly had come to recognize as deep thought. A demonstration of good faith. Varix repeated slowly. Yet you concealed listening posts in our territory and apparently have been gathering intelligence on our military capabilities for years. These actions seem contradictory. Commander Porter. Kelly maintained her composure. Not contradictory. Commander Practical. The Valiant represents our desire for open relations. The listening posts represent our caution. Earth is one world. Your empire spans hundreds. We would be foolish not to take precautions. Before Varix could respond, an aide rushed into the chamber violating protocol. The young Zolaxian whispered urgently to Varix, whose skin changed color rapidly in what Kelly recognized as alarm. This meeting must conclude early. Varix announced, we will resume tomorrow. As the humans were escorted back to their shuttle, Kelly exchanged meaningful glances with Nicole. Something significant had happened, once aboard their shuttle and clear of Zolaxian monitoring. Kelly turned to her communications officer. Amy, what did you pick up? Amy Wilson had been passively scanning Zolaxian communications during the meeting. Significant encrypted transmissions began flowing through their network about 3 minutes before we were dismissed. The encryption is heavy, but the volume and pattern suggest military coordination. They found something. Kelly concluded. Aaron, contact Earth Command. We need to know what's happening. The shuttle docked with the Valiant, and Kelly rushed to the command center. Aaron was already there, coordinating with Earth's intelligence network. Admiral Carson is standing by, she reported. The Admiral's face appeared on the main screen, her expression grave. Commander, one of our research outposts in the Tau Ceti system has gone dark. Simultaneously, our sensors detected a Zolaxian battle group changing course toward that location. Kelly felt her stomach tighten. The Tau Ceti outpost housed some of Earth's most advanced propulsion research survivors. Unknown. The facility initiated purge protocols before contact was lost. All sensitive data should have been destroyed. But if the Zolaxians captured personnel, the implication was clear information could be extracted from human captives. The Artemis is closest to that position. Kelly said. They could investigate. Already en route, but maintaining stealth. Our priority remains diplomatic resolution. If the Zolaxians don't realize what they've found, we might still salvage the situation. After the transmission ended, Kelly gathered her senior staff. The Zolaxians have likely discovered one of our research facilities. The question is, how much did they learn before the purge protocols activated? Nicole frowned. If they captured intact technology or personnel, then our negotiating position weakens significantly. Kelly completed the thought. They'll know the Valiant isn't unique. Aboard the Zolaxian flagship, Varix received the preliminary report from the battle group commander. We discovered an abandoned facility on the fourth moon of the gas giant. The humans evacuated before our arrival, but they left in haste. Our science team is examining what remains. What have you found? Varix asked. The facility appears to be a research station, advanced equipment mostly destroyed. Some data fragments are being reconstructed. The most significant discovery is a partially damaged propulsion prototype. It confirms our suspicions. The humans have been developing technology far beyond what they should be capable of. And Admiral, the design specifications suggest this is more advanced than even the vessel in our space. Varix absorbed this information with growing concern. Any human captives? None, Admiral. They escaped or were never present. Our sensors detected residual energy signatures suggesting at least one small vessel left. The system recently, track it, Varix ordered, and double the security around the human delegation. Their commander, Porter, has not been forthcoming. In her private quarters, Kelly paced while waiting for updates from the Artemis. The situation was deteriorating rapidly. Earth's carefully constructed facade was cracking. The Zolaxians were discovering pieces of the truth, but without context, those pieces might lead them to dangerous conclusions. Her communication panel chimed, secure transmission. From the Artemis commander. Captain Morgan appeared on the screen, her expression tense. We've completed our stealth reconnaissance of Tau Ceti. The facility is lost, Commander. The Zolaxians have a science team picking through the remains. Casualties? None. Confirmed all personnel evacuated via emergency protocols. But the prototype drive wasn't completely destroyed. The Zolaxians recovered significant components. This was the worst possible news. What about the tracking devices in the prototype? Active. The Zolaxians are transporting the components to what appears to be a secure research facility in the Rigel system. Kelly made a quick decision. Maintain position, but remain undetected. I need to consult with Earth Command. The situation had reached a critical juncture. If the Zolaxians managed to analyze the prototype, they would realize that human technology was far more advanced than even the Valiant suggested. The diplomatic fiction they had carefully constructed would collapse on Earth. The Space Defense Council convened an emergency session. Olivia Grant addressed the assembled leaders. The Zolaxians have discovered our research facility in Tau Ceti and recovered prototype technology. Our operational security has been compromised, Admiral. Laura Bennett spoke next. We have 3 options. First, continue the diplomatic approach and hope Commander Porter can maintain our narrative. Second, reveal our true capabilities and force a more equal negotiation. Third, prepare for potential conflict. The IE Council chamber erupted in debate. The civilian representatives favored continued diplomacy, while military leaders argued for a show of force. We've spent 50 years preparing for this moment. Admiral Bennett reminded them. Our fleet remains undetected. Our defensive grid is operational. Earth is not defenseless. Olivia raised her hand for silence. The original strategy was to reveal our capabilities, gradually establishing respect before showing our full strength. The Zalaxians have accelerated that timeline, but the fundamental approach remains valid. We cannot risk open conflict with an empire that controls hundreds of worlds. Back aboard the Valiant, Kelly received her new orders. Continue diplomatic engagement. Acknowledge the research facility if confronted but minimize its significance. Emphasize our peaceful intentions while we reposition assets. The next meeting with Varix began with tension, thick in the air. The Zalaxian commander wasted no time. Your research facility in the Tau Ceti system, Commander Porter. Another demonstration of good faith, perhaps. Kelly had prepared for this confrontation. A scientific outpost studying propulsion technology. Yes, we maintain several such facilities. The technology we recovered is more advanced than your Valiant, Varix stated, watching Kelly closely for her reaction. The Valiant utilizes proven reliable systems, Kelly replied smoothly. Research facilities naturally work with experimental technology, not all of which is practical for deployment. It was a believable explanation. Research always pushed boundaries beyond what was currently implemented, but Kelly could see that Varix wasn't entirely convinced. How many ships does Earth possess with capabilities similar to the Valiant? Varix asked directly. Kelly gave the answer she had been authorized to reveal. The Valiant is one of 3 such vessels currently in service. The others patrol Earth space. This was a calculated revelation. A small fleet would explain the research but not suggest a major threat to the Zalaxian Empire. In reality, Earth had dozens of ships with the Valiant's capabilities and hundreds more under construction. Varix's tentacles rippled a gesture Kelly couldn't interpret. 3 vessels, yet you risk sending one so far from your homeworld for diplomatic purposes that suggests either remarkable confidence or poor strategic thinking, or a genuine desire for peaceful relations. Kelly countered. Would you have preferred we send all 3? The subtle challenge hung in the air. Before Varix could respond, a priority communication interrupted them. A senior Zalaxian military officer appeared on a holographic display, speaking rapidly in their native language. Kelly couldn't understand the words, but Varix's reaction was unmistakable. Shock followed by something that looked like anger. Her translator caught only fragments as the Zalaxian commander responded, "Impossible," and "confirm." When the communication ended, Varix turned to Kelly. Her demeanor completely changed. It seems, Commander Porter, that your government has not been entirely honest about your capabilities or intentions. Kelly maintained her composure, though her heart raced. What has happened, Commander? One of our science vessels studying the technology from your research facility has disappeared, along with the Zalaxian battlecruiser escorting it. No debris, no distress signal. They simply vanished. The last sensor readings detected an energy signature, matching your vessel's propulsion system. This was unexpected. Earth had no operations in that area. Kelly's confusion was genuine. I have no knowledge of any such action. Then perhaps, Varix said, her voice cold, you should contact your government for clarification before this diplomatic incident becomes something much more serious. Kelly maintained her diplomatic composure, but internally she was alarmed. This development made no sense. Earth forces had strict orders to avoid confrontation. I request a brief recess to contact my government, she said formally. Varix agreed, though. Kelly noted the increased security around them as they were escorted to a private communication room. Once secured, Kelly established an encrypted link to Earth. Command Admiral Carson appeared on the screen, her expression grave. "We've just received. The intelligence commander, the Zalaxian vessels have indeed vanished, but it wasn't our doing." "Not our doing," Kelly repeated. "Then who?" "Unknown. But the energy signature detected was designed to mimic our propulsion system. Someone wants the Zalaxians to believe we're responsible. This was a dangerous complication. A third party trying to disrupt negotiations. It appears so intelligence is analyzing possibilities. The Centauri have advanced cloaking technology. The Arcturian nexus has been expanding their territory. The Krell Dominion has historic grievances with the Zalaxians. Any could benefit from conflict between Earth and the Empire. Kelly processed this information quickly. "I need to convince Varix we're not responsible without revealing how much we know about the other powers. Proceed carefully, Commander. This could be an attempt to force us to reveal more of our capabilities than we intended." When Kelly returned to the diplomatic chamber, she found Varix surrounded by military advisors. The atmosphere had grown hostile, Commander Porter. Varix began formally. "Has your government provided an explanation?" "Earth forces were not involved in this incident," Kelly stated firmly. "We have no vessels operating in that region. The energy signature detected must have been falsified." Varix's skin darkened with skepticism. "A convenient claim." "A truthful one," Kelly countered. "Think logically, Commander. Why would Earth attack isolated Zalaxian vessels while our diplomatic delegation remains in your custody? Such action would be irrational." This gave Varix pause. The human's argument made sense. Still, the energy signature was identical to your vessels, which suggests someone is attempting to provoke conflict between our peoples. Kelly said, "Someone who has studied the Valiant closely enough to replicate its signature." Science Officer Leary, who had joined the delegation, spoke up. "It is theoretically possible. Admiral, the Centauri Confederation possesses advanced sensor manipulation technology." Varix considered this possibility. "You suggest the Centauri are responsible?" Kelly was careful not to accuse anyone specifically. "I suggest that Earth has no motive to attack your vessels, while several other powers might benefit from disrupting our negotiations. The question is who had both the capability and the motive." The diplomatic session adjourned with tension still high, but open conflict averted for the moment. As Kelly and her team returned to the Valiant, she knew they were walking a dangerous line. "The Zalaxians aren't fully convinced," Nicole observed once they were safely aboard their ship. "No, but we've created enough doubt to continue negotiations," Kelly replied. "Meanwhile, we need to discover who's really behind the attack." Earth Command had reached the same conclusion. Admiral Laura Bennett addressed the Special Operations Division. "We need eyes on that region. Deploy the Eclipse." The Eclipse was Earth's most advanced stealth vessel, equipped with technology that even the Valiant's crew didn't know existed. Unlike conventional ships, it utilized phase-shifting technology, allowing it to operate partially out of normal space. Time virtually undetectable by any known sensor systems. Captain Diane Ellis acknowledged the order. "Eclipse deploying. Admiral, course set for the Zalaxian incident location." The Eclipse slipped away from its hidden dock, its advanced systems rendering it invisible to all but the most specialized detection equipment. Its mission: find the truth before the fragile piece collapsed aboard the Zalaxian flagship. Varix met privately with Science Officer Leary. "Your assessment." Leary's tentacles moved in a pattern indicating uncertainty. The human commander's argument is logical. They would gain nothing by attacking our vessels during negotiations. Unless, Varix suggested, they wish to demonstrate capabilities beyond what they've revealed. Possible, but unlikely. The timing is poor, and targeting a research vessel examining their technology draws attention to precisely what they seem to be hiding. Varix moved to the viewport, staring out at the stars. What about the Centauri? Could they replicate the human propulsion signature? With sufficient study, perhaps, but they would need detailed scans of the human vessel. Operating close enough to obtain such data without detection would be extremely difficult. What about the Krell? They have grievances with both our peoples. Leary considered their technology is advanced but in different directions. Their propulsion systems utilize completely different principles. Mimicking the human signature would require a fundamental shift in their approach. Someone is responsible, Varric said firmly. And until we know who both the humans and the Empire remain at risk. On the Valiant, Kelly received troubling news from Earth. Intelligence had uncovered unusual communication patterns between certain Zolaxian military factions and unknown entities in neutral space. You're suggesting elements within the Zolaxian military might be responsible for the attack on their own vessels? Kelly asked incredulously. It's one possibility, Admiral Carson confirmed. Political factions exist even in the Empire. Some may oppose peaceful relations with Earth. This added another layer of complexity to an already delicate situation. If true, how do we proceed? The Empire might interpret any accusation as a deliberate insult. We don't accuse without proof, Commander. The Eclipse is investigating. Let diplomacy continue while we gather evidence. The Eclipse arrived at the coordinates where the Zolaxian vessels had vanished. Captain Diane Ellis studied the sensor readings with experienced eyes. Residual energy, patterns consistent with a dimensional shift, not a weapons discharge. Her science officer nodded. These vessels weren't destroyed, they were transported. Transported where? Unknown. But the quantum signature is distinctive, not human technology, not Zolaxian. Either this is something we haven't encountered before. Diane made a decision. Deploy the quantum tracers. See if we can follow the trail. The Eclipse released specialized probes designed to detect disturbances in space-time. The technology, was experimental, but represented humanity's most advanced scientific achievement. Meanwhile, the diplomatic situation deteriorated further. Varric received orders from the High Council. The humans must provide access to their vessel for inspection. If they refuse, it will be considered an admission of hostile intent. This demand placed Kelly in an impossible position. Earth Command was explicit. Under no circumstances allow Zolaxian inspection teams aboard the Valiant classified systems must remain secure. When they met again, the tension between the two commanders was palpable. Your government's refusal is troubling, Commander Porter, Varric said. If Earth has nothing to hide, why deny a simple inspection? Kelly chose her words carefully. The Valiant contains proprietary systems just as your vessels contain technologies you wouldn't share with potential allies. The issue isn't secrecy, Commander. It's sovereignty. Earth vessels are sovereign territory. Yet you ask us to trust you, while our ships vanish. I ask you to consider who benefits from conflict between our peoples. Kelly countered. Not Earth, not the Empire, but perhaps others watching these negotiations with concern. Before Varric could respond, an alert sounded throughout. The Zolaxian diplomatic vessel security officers rushed into the chamber. Admiral. One reported urgently, we've detected an unidentified vessel approaching at high speed. It's not responding to hails. Kelly felt a sinking sensation. Something was very wrong on screen. Varric ordered. The display activated, showing a ship unlike any Kelly had seen before. Its design was neither human nor Zolaxian. The vessel's hull seemed to shift and ripple as though not entirely solid. What is that? Varric demanded. Before anyone could respond, the strange ship-fired energy beams of an unusual purple hue struck both the Zolaxian diplomatic vessel and the Valiant. The lights flickered, and systems began failing. We're being boarded, reported a Zolaxian security officer, unknown entities materializing on multiple decks. Kelly activated her emergency communicator, Valiant status report. Aaron's voice came through filled with static. Multiple hull breaches, commander intruders aboard unknown species. There, the communication cut off abruptly. In the diplomatic chamber, the door slid open, revealing tall humanoid figures. Their skin was pale, almost translucent, with an inner luminescence. Their eyes were large and entirely black. They wore what appeared to be living armor that pulsed and shifted with their movements. One stepped forward, regarding both Kelly and Varric with cold interest. The experiment proceeds as planned. It said in perfect Zolaxian, then repeated the same words in perfect English. Your species will provide valuable data. Kelly and Varix exchanged glances. For the first time since their meeting, they shared a common thought. This was the true threat. Neither human nor Zolaxian, but something entirely unknown. And they were both its targets. The strange beings surrounded Kelly, Varix, and the others in the diplomatic chamber. Their movements were fluid, almost hypnotic. The leader stepped closer, studying them with scientific detachment. You are Commander Kelly Porter of Earth Vessel Valiant, it stated, then turned to Varix. You are Fleet Commander Varix of the Zolaxian Empire. Your conflict parameters have been measured. Your technological exchange has been monitored. Kelly found her voice. Who are you? What do you want? The being tilted, its head in an unnervingly human gesture. We are the observers. We study emergent civilizations and their interactions. Your species and the Zolaxians represent an interesting convergence pattern. Varix's tentacles curled defensively. You attacked our research vessel. You staged this confrontation. Correct. We required controlled variables to measure response patterns. The being seemed unmoved by their distress. Your vessels and crews are unharmed. They are simply displaced temporarily for study. Kelly felt a surge of anger. These beings had manipulated both humans and Zolaxians, pushing them toward conflict for what appeared to be scientific curiosity. You had no right to interfere in our affairs. Rights are a subjective construct. Commander Porter, we observe. We collect data. We have done so for millennia. Your species are not the first to be studied, nor will you be the last. The clinical detachment in the being's voice chilled Kelly to the core. These observers viewed advanced civilizations as mere test subjects. Their technology clearly surpassed both human and Zolaxian capabilities. By their own admission, they had been manipulating events, perhaps for years. Varix stepped forward, her military bearing unchanged, despite the circumstances. Release our vessels and personnel immediately. The observer regarded her with what might have been amusement. They will be returned when our study is complete. Your cooperation is not required, merely noted as a behavioral response. Kelly exchanged glances with Varix, sensing an opportunity in their shared predicament. Facing a common threat might forge the alliance that diplomacy had struggled to create. Your actions have consequences, Kelly said, addressing the observer. By interfering, you've created exactly what you claim to be studying, a convergence between our species. The observer's expression remained unchanged. Explain. Humans and Zolaxians now share a common enemy. Kelly stated, your interference gives us reason to cooperate, rather than compete. For the first time, the observer showed something resembling emotion, a slight narrowing of its black eyes. Interesting. This response pattern was not predicted. Kelly pressed the advantage. Return our people and vessels immediately, and cease your interference or face the combined response of both our civilizations. The observer seemed to consider this. Your threat posture is noted, Commander Porter. However, your species lacks the technological capacity to enforce such demands. The probability of successful resistance is minimal. Is it? Varix interjected. You claim to have studied us, yet you missed the human listening posts in our territory. You failed to detect their hidden fleet. You underestimated their technological advancement. If your observations were so flawed, what else have you missed? It was a brilliant move. Kelly realized Varix was bluffing, implying knowledge of Earth's capabilities far beyond what they had actually discovered. The observers couldn't know what the Zolaxians had learned, nor what humans might be hiding. The observer's confidence seemed to waver slightly. Clarify. You have knowledge of human military assets beyond what our scans detected. Of course. Varix continued smoothly. Why? Do you think we were negotiating instead of simply conquering? The humans have capabilities that impressed even the Empire. That should concern you. Kelly picked up the thread seamlessly. And the Zolaxian quantum detection grid covers more space than we initially believed. Your vessel's arrival was tracked the moment you entered this system. That's why we're both here now on this diplomatic vessel waiting. Waiting, the observer repeated. For our response teams, Kelly said with confidence. She didn't feel, as if on cue alarms sounded throughout the ship. A Zolaxian officer burst into the chamber. Admiral, unknown vessels have appeared, multiple signatures. Some match human configurations, others are ours. The observer leader turned to its companions, communicating in a language neither human nor Zolaxian could understand. Their confidence seemed shaken on the bridge of the eclipse. Captain Diane Ellis watched as the situation unfolded. Her ship remained undetected, its advanced stealth systems rendering it invisible even to the observer's technology. The quantum tracers had done their job leading the eclipse to the diplomatic vessel, just as the unknown aliens made their move. Analysis, she demanded. Her science officer studied the readings. The alien vessel utilizes some form of phase technology similar to our theoretical models but far more advanced. Their weapons appear to be energy-based, but operating on principles we haven't encountered. Weaknesses. Their shielding fluctuates when they use their transporters. That might provide an opening. Diane made a quick decision. Prepare the quantum disruptors. Target their propulsion and transporter systems. We only get one shot before they detect us. The eclipses. Most advanced weapon system came online. Drawing power from the ship's experimental core, the disruptors could temporarily destabilize the quantum field around a target, theoretically disabling phase-based technology. Target locked. Captain fire. 3. Invisible beam struck the observer vessel, which suddenly shimmered into full visibility. Its hull rippling as systems failed. The effect was immediate. The observers in the diplomatic chamber staggered as though physically struck. What have you done? Their leader demanded, its composure finally broken. Kelly smiled, though she had no idea what had just happened. As I said, our response teams. The eclipse decloaked, revealing itself to both the observers and the Zolaxians, its sleek, black hull absorbed, rather than reflected light, making it appear like a ship-shaped void in space. Its design was unlike the Valiant, suggesting technology far beyond what the Zolaxians had seen from humans. This is Captain Diane Ellis of the Earth vessel Eclipse. Came the transmission. Your ship has been disabled. Your personnel on both vessels are being contained. Stand down immediately. The observer leader seemed to reassess the situation rapidly. This technology was not in our projections. Your phase shifting. Capabilities should be theoretical only. Perhaps your observations were incomplete. Kelly suggested. Varric stared at the image of the eclipse on the display, her inner eyelids blinking rapidly in surprise. The vessel's design and capabilities were nothing like what they had observed in human technology. The implications were staggering. The observer leader made a gesture and the other beings stepped back. This study has yielded unexpected data. We will withdraw, not without returning our people. And vessels, Kelly insisted. They will be released at these coordinates. The observer transmitted the location. This interaction has proven more valuable than anticipated. Your species will be reclassified in our taxonomy. With that, the observers vanished, transported back to their vessel. Despite the eclipse's attack, their teleportation technology still functioned. The alien ship shimmered and disappeared, leaving an eerie silence in its wake. In the diplomatic chamber, Kelly and Varric found themselves facing a new reality. The threat of the observers had passed, but the revelation of the eclipse had changed everything. That vessel, Varric said finally, its design, its capabilities, they are not consistent with the Valiant. Kelly knew the carefully constructed narrative about human technology had collapsed. The eclipse's appearance had revealed too much. No, they're not. The eclipse represents a different approach to space travel, one we've kept classified. How many such vessels does Earth possess? Varric asked the question that would determine the future relationship between their peoples. Kelly made a split-second decision. Truth, not deception, would build the foundation for genuine alliance. 1. The eclipse is a prototype. The only one of its kind. But its existence proves what I've been trying to convey through diplomacy. Earth is more technologically advanced than the Empire realized. We don't seek conflict. We seek recognition as equals. Varix studied Kelly for a long moment. These observers, they will return. Their interest in our species will not fade. Probably not. Which gives us more reason to cooperate rather than compete. The High Council will not be pleased to learn how thoroughly they misjudged human capabilities. Kelly smiled slightly. And Earth's government won't be happy that our most classified project revealed itself, but perhaps it's for the best, honest negotiation, rather than strategic deception. Hours later, as both sides confirmed the return of their missing vessels and personnel, Kelly received a transmission from Admiral Carson. The Eclipse's intervention was unauthorized, the Admiral said, her expression a mixture of frustration and relief. Captain Ellis acted on her own initiative when she detected the alien technology, but her actions may have saved both our peoples from becoming permanent subjects in an alien experiment, and exposed our most advanced technology to the Zalaxians. Kelly added, yes. That complicates matters. The original strategy is no longer viable. We're sending new instructions. The truth, Commander Porter. At least most of it. It's time for a genuine alliance, not a tactical one. When Kelly met with Varix again, the atmosphere had changed. The Zolaxian commander regarded her with new respect.